You're looking at the widest ever Aurora Borealis time-lapse without a fisheye distortion, and here's the photo to go along with it. In this box, I have the widest telephoto lens on the market. It is the Canon RF 10 to 20 millimeter lens, and it is designed for full frame cameras. First, let's just open it up, and while I'm opening up, I'm going to let you guys know that I didn't buy this lens. I rented it through a company called Lens Rentals, and I do have an affiliation with them, and I want you guys to know that. There is a 15% discount code in the description of this video, and if you use that link, it does help me out just a little bit. So if you want to rent any camera or lens or any other photography or videography equipment, they are pretty easy to deal with, and I've had no issues. And as you see, it comes in a nice box. Tells you even which side to open it because you send it back in the same box. So let's just get this open, and I don't know how much more I can tell you about a box. They ship it in a Pelican case. Every lens that I've got is in a Pelican case like this. So let's open it up and we'll get the first impressions of this lens. It'll be my first time using it. Right here is your packing slip to send it back. It's got the tape and everything. You don't have to worry about that. I'm just gonna put that back in the box. And the lens comes in its own little case as well. So it comes super well protected. You can see it's even tough to get it out. Everything's padded really nice. That's your typical Pelican case. So let's put this back. It's really lightweight. First impression is, I can't believe how light it is. I guess because it's an f4, maybe. Before we get into all the specs and everything like that, I do wish this was an f2.8 lens. I do a lot of Aurora photography, and believe it or not, despite it being an f4 lens, that is the reason I got it. I'm going to Fairbanks and I plan on getting some Aurora shots captured at 10 millimeters on my Canon R5 or the R6. I'm going to test them both out, and I have a bunch of tests that I'm going to do in this video. But first impression is it is super lightweight, and when we look at the lens itself, it has autofocus, manual focus switch, stabilizer on and off switch. It's got a focus ring, a zoom ring, and a control ring that all of Canon RF lenses seem to have. It has a bulbish kind of look. It's not a flat lens, so you're not going to get a filter on here unless you get one of those filters that go over, and to me, I hate those filters, like those ND filters that go over these kind of lenses. So in my opinion, not worth that. But the lens cap is really nice. It is on there tight. I like that, because if you get like a Sigma lens like this, the cap does come off, but it just slides on and off. This here has two little buttons that you can click on the side right here. So we'll just, boom, take it off. Before we go out, why don't we swap lenses real quick and see what it looks like. Right now I'm shooting at 15 millimeters. So that's 15 millimeters. Let's see what my room looks like at 10 millimeters. Whoa, that is wide. Wow, that is really, really wide. You can see my microphone up here. I mean, everything looks like it's super distorted. My arm looks, wow. Guys, I've lost about 100 pounds overnight. Hey, I'm Kris Luckenbach, and I'm gonna show you how to lose 100 pounds overnight. You just get a 10 millimeter lens, and you look like an alien. That looks so cool. All right, let's go try this lens for some sunset photos tonight. All right, well, I'm at this beautiful Russian Orthodox church here downtown Kodiak, and I love the baby blue of this place. But anyway, looks like it's gonna be a really, really nice sunset tonight, so I wanna get this first couple shots out of the way real quick. And what I'm gonna do is just, I'm using a tripod. You'll never see me use a tripod for landscape photography, but I'm using one now because I'm gonna shoot at f4, f8, and I think I'm gonna do like f11. And see how the sharpness looks from edge to edge and whatnot. So let's get a couple photos in. I've already dialed in my settings, and here's the first one. Alrighty guys, I got you here in Lightroom, and on these steps I took 3 photos, f4, f8, and f11. Let's just zoom in at f4 and see the sharpness in the center. And this is shot on the Canon R6, so I wouldn't crop in with this camera anyway. So looking at the picture as a whole, it looks pretty good. Now, if we want to look at the edges, this is f4 here, so it does look a little blurry. Definitely losing pixels, obviously, but looks a little blurry. And if we zoom over here to f8, it looks a little sharper. Once again, losing pixels. And if we zoom over here to f11, it looks the sharpest. So comparing these two, f11 seems to look the sharpest. I do like this composition a lot. There's this red curve here that looks really good on the back of the camera. So I think it's gonna look good in the photo. Make sure, shoot f11, start. Now this is probably my favorite photo I took this night, and I think it came out really well. If we zoom in on the center here, you can see that it's sharp, it looks really good. The text looks sharp. There's minimal fringing around the text, which looks good. But once again, we shot this at f11. Let's zoom in all the way over here. That text is sharp, and I'm gonna say it again, it's 20 megapixels, so I wouldn't expect it to look clean, but the text itself is sharp, and even on the edges, there's very minimal fringing. There's a little bit of red. Now this is shot with lens profile corrections enabled on Lightroom, so let's just look at it without it. You can see that there's some vignetting. In the corners, it's almost kind of like really, really bad. It almost looks like the lens hood is covering it. Let's look at these photos with the you can see like it really looks bad. Enabling lens profile corrections, you don't really lose much in the millimeters. A little bit, like you lose this whole fence here. So to me, it's worth the risk by cropping in just a little bit. It's still a really wide photo. I'm just gonna walk around for a second with handheld, no tripod, see if I can find some other compositions I like. I'm gonna do f8 400 ISO because I don't care about ISO in today's world. I shoot freaking 12,000 sometimes with wildlife. I'm gonna use 12,000 ISO for Northern Lights with this thing. So let's just see what we can get here. And this is also gonna be a good test for the edge-to-edge sharpness. So that was kind of cool, a little bald eagle there. This is the one with the bald eagle in it. That has a little bit of fringing, but I mean, but we're only at a 100th shutter speed, so I'd expect it to look a little blurry or fringed. But the text even here looks really good. I think this is our best photo here. And I mean, I think it looks really good for 10 millimeters. All right, sun's peeking through. Let's drive downtown real quick. And well, I'm gonna get some harbor shots. It's a pretty calm night, no wind. All right, well, I'm downtown at the harbor. Let's see if the active track will, if I turn this way, you can see we're downtown, or at the harbor. So let's get this camera on the tripod. I got it set up. I know this edge is gonna be in the way, so I set up the tripod on the edge so I hopefully don't get any of the wood inside of the photo. Let's make sure that this is on pretty tight. So let's shoot the same three. We're gonna do f4, f8, and f11. One more time here. Here's a few photos I took tonight at the harbor, and I'm just letting you guys know, if you check the description box on this video, there will be a Google Drive link to all of the raw photos, so you can look at them, edit them, and see the comparisons, because YouTube doesn't do the sharpness and everything justice. All right, I'm at Shane's $1 million view here. This place is awesome. And I'm really excited to test out this 10 to 20 millimeter lens. I'm gonna take 10 millimeter and 15 millimeter photos today, and we're just gonna compare a couple things like the kitchen, the upstairs bedroom, and the living room, just so you guys have an example on what 15 millimeters looks like versus 10 millimeters. So let's just start here in the kitchen. 15 millimeters would look like. And then let's open it to 10. I'm not a professional real estate photographer, but I think it's best to get in a corner as far as back as you can, especially when you're limited to 15 millimeters, maybe even 24 millimeters for this kind of photography. So this shot is 15. And then this super wide one, you'll have Shane in there as well. And that is 10. Oh, we totally could have did like an MTV Cribs edition here. We messed up big time. Shane thinks he's so fancy with this clock. That's my favorite thing about this house. I can't find anything like that. one where I'm just getting this from here. And I think this looks good at 10 millimeters. And then we'll shoot this at 15. Now I could obviously walk back further, which I'm gonna do in a second. But I wanted to just show you guys how wide this 10 millimeter is if you're not standing in the furthest part of the room. So let's just go in this corner here. We'll shoot this way. And I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna do half the room here. Okay, and then maybe I'll just do from the kitchen. We'll see if the 10 millimeters can capture this whole thing, because you could see that it is a pretty wide room. All right, we'll just finish up upstairs real quick. And this is where I think this lens is gonna shine the best in smaller rooms. So I think real estate agents, I guess you can call them, will be happy with a really wide picture, because it's gonna bring more people out, because I think the picture might even fool some people on how big the rooms are. So let's get up here. These photos are just placement holders right now for some photos he's bringing in. Unless he really is lying to me and he likes his kid sideways, not sure. This room is not super tiny, but it is a pretty tight space. So if we stand back here at 10 millimeters, we can get that. We're at 15 millimeters. We can grab that. So I could tell, I'm just looking at the back of this screen now, and you could just see how wide the door frame looks and how distorted this photo is here. But if there's no photos on the wall or door frames, it might look pretty good. So think about how you are distorting the wide parts of the picture when you're taking them, so people won't look at the photo and go, what the heck is this? And I think we are good here. This room is available on B&B, so if you guys come to Kodiak, Alaska, you can check out this room. If you guys are signing up for my 2025 wildlife workshop, this will be the place we stay in. Pretty epic location. Oh, there it goes. Look at that, guys. Oh. Oh, yeah. Look behind you. All right, we're here in Adobe Lightroom, and I got some awesome shots on this night. And this is shot at 10 millimeters. I'm just gonna reset everything and show you what it looks like straight out of the camera. That's my composition. That's what it looked like right out of the camera. And I'm gonna also just disable the profile corrections. You can see it opens up a little bit, but like we talked about before, that is pretty dark on the sides, and I personally like it losing a little bit of profile corrections. So I think that looks really good just like that. And then I'm actually gonna just Command Z and go back and show you my edit. This is the edit with no noise reduction on it. 5000 ISO, 4 seconds long, f4, 10 millimeters. Zooming in on the edges, this is where we would see coma in the photos, and as you can see, that looks really good. There's a little bit here, just a little bit, and if we go through the center, it's really sharp here, dead center. And this is also during like a half moon, I guess you could say. And then this corner, same thing. It looks really, really good for 10 millimeters and no coma. That looks awesome. Disabling the profile corrections, it looks about the same, maybe a little better, but profile corrections disabled looks really good. But like I said, I'd like to enable it, and they're stretched out a little bit, but I think it looks really good. And there's really no like fringing and stuff, especially for that high ISO. And speaking of high ISO, I'm going to show you guys real quick how I get my photos to look like that. So that is literally no noise, 5000 ISO, all done inside of Lightroom. So all you're going to do is we're going to go to this photo, edit it how you want. And once you're done editing the photo, you're going to come down here and look for noise reduction. We're going to hit denoise, and this is set at 48. That's the number I prefer. I think it works great for wildlife and night stuff, 48. And I check that. Here's what I have checked. Tells you your estimated time and everything. You can hit enhance. I've already done it. And it goes from this noise to this noise, which is almost gone. Like you would think this is shot at 200 ISO. Well, I just got back from Fairbanks, Alaska, and I had an awesome time with this 10 to 20 millimeter lens. It is probably the best lens for Fairbanks and anywhere in the far north where you're going to get aurora overhead or get some cool compositions like I got. I am super pleased with this lens, and I'm sad that I'm sending it back. It will be in my camera bag full time eventually one day, but I just simply can't afford it right now because it is a hefty $2,300 price tag. So this is just going to be something I rent if I go up to Fairbanks. You know, it'll be a really cool tool to have if we shoot things like real estate in the future. And another thing I didn't test, but I thought would be amazing for this lens, would be some car photography, indoor car photography. I think it can make stuff look pretty roomy. I didn't test that, but if you guys get this lens, it will probably be a pretty good option for that. So I hope this video helped you, and I hope you guys enjoyed those Northern Lights photos. That was the whole reason I got this lens, was for the Northern Lights. It worked really good. One of my favorite things about it was, even though it's f4 and I got to shoot a high ISO, Lightroom did a good job. But shooting at f4, you can be a little forgiving with your auto, or not your autofocus, but your regular manual focus. I noticed with a lens like an f1.4, I have to be dead accurate, and if I bump it just a little bit, it's out of focus, and you can easily tell. This had a couple extra millimeters, I guess you could say, to have some wiggle room with, and that's a big thing at nighttime when you have some adrenaline going for the Northern Lights. I like it. I like it a lot. That's all I'm going to say about that. Is I'd put it in my camera bag for the Aurora. It's a great option, and even though it's f4, Lightroom does a good job. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm going to leave you with this video right here. Last year I came back from Fairbanks and had the best Aurora show of my life in Kodiak, where I live, and it's going to be a great video for you guys to watch. Thanks for watching.